Hey guys, it's me, Wilson, and we're back with another video on F1 2021. And as you can see, we're here for round 5, I think.
There we go, okay, right.
5, I think it's round 5, season 30 of Psgl F1. We're here for Hungary. A track that I've not raced at in a while. I think the last time I raced here was actually season 26 Psgl F1, which was a long time ago. I actually won that race. So, if that's anything to go by, maybe we'll win tonight. But who knows? We'll see. We've got to get out of Q1 first. So, yeah, going into this race, pace. I think it was average again. We're not focusing too much on Psgl due to challengers. But yeah, the pace was average. The pace was enough to get to Q3 if we just do everything right and don't mess up. But it wasn't comfortable in the sense we could mess up and still get through. So it definitely wasn't poor, but I think it was enough. So going into Q1, the main goal is to usually just use one set. But as you can see, it's actually raining in Q1. It's actually going to dry up towards the end of the session, however. So that's going to leave us with pretty much a one-shot quali, unless we can manage to fit 2 runs in. But it's not looking like that, according to the weather. As you can see, a quick glimpse of the track. Pretty wet out there, so there's not much we're going to be able to do. But here we go, we skip onto our out lap. We do leave it time for 2 runs. You can back off in these tyres and go again, but it's not great, as I'm sure if you know anything about this game or this track, these soft tyres overheat horrendously into this last sector. So they're not too great in their second run, but we have gave ourselves the buffer to go again if we do make a big mistake in validation, maybe a bit of wheel spin here and there. And yeah, I'm not too sure what the cutoff is going to be. The track does not feel great still. Keep in mind it has been raining at the start of this Q1 session, and it's Q1 grip, so the grip is pretty poor going into this first run nevertheless. But we skipped to halfway through this Q1 run. What is the split going to be? It is a 0.826, I believe. Usually on a very quick Q3 lap, you're on a 0.4 or 0.5 split. So coming into these final few corners, it's looking like it's going to be a 14, definitely not a 13, so it's not going to be great. I was contemplating going into that last if I should back out, but we haven't backed out. We've committed to this Q1 lap. We can't back out now. We can't do double laps around this track, and it's a 14.3 round the Hungaroring, and yeah, we're going to have to pray that gets us through. And nevertheless, it does get us through. P13, very on the limit. It was not a good lap at all. You can see for middle sector there, at least 2 tenths off in the middle. And the first a bit poor. The last was alright, but I think the last was only good because we're going so slow, the tyres didn't really overheat too much. But yeah, as you can see, Jake Benham, he did a 14.1. That's where we were aiming for. But not too bad. At least we got through, can't complain too much. Now, heading into Q2, as you can see on these tyres, we've got 5 minutes left in the session. We've slapped on the medium tyre, as I said earlier on in the video. The softs really overheat, and then I'm sure you can imagine how bad that would be in the race. So we're going to try and get into Q3 on this medium tyre, starting our lap up to 7th gear, going down to 8th gear into this turn 1. We're really going to have to make sure we don't wheel spin too much. 2 cars on the right hand side, a little bit distracting. Brake after 100 meter mark, 3rd gear. Try and use that curve to rotate your car, but it's not great. As you can see, the rear end dancing about a little bit. These medium tyres not offering too much grip on our first lap round through this corner. 3rd gear up to 5th gear, using the throttle to rotate the car, and then using this curve to clip it in and keeping it on the track. We're aiming for at least maybe a 0.8, 0.9 first sector. It's a 0.9 low first, so a fairly good first sector. Couldn't be too much better as we go really wide through that corner. That's not looking great. At this point, I'm contemplating, do we back out of this lap? Can we get a good chicane? The chicane hasn't looked too great either. We missed the first apex slightly. Can we get the left-right nailed? We do that pretty well, to be honest. Probably the best we've done any corner so far on this lap. Up to this right-hander, fling it in 6th gear. We missed that apex too, so we've at least lost 2 tenths throughout this lap. It's not looking too good into this last sector. We clipped this apex. That looked pretty tidy. We've got a car on the left-hand side. Brake after the board just above your head there. And in 3rd gear, up to 4th. Not up to 5th, as it'll dull the revs out too much. A bit of a twitch on the exit. Tyres are screaming slightly, but it's the medium tyre, so it is better. Round the final corner, we dart to left a little bit, losing the rear end up to the line. It's a 0.1231, and I'm sure you can see that lap. There's a lot of time in it, but sadly, there's not much we could do. And at this point, we're contemplating: do we go back out in mediums? Do we go out in softs? And we decide to go out in softs. And the thinking behind this was, if I get knocked out, I'm going to be the last man to set a lap. So let's say I'm coming into the last corner and I see I'm 10th place. I'm the last person crossing the line, so I know I'm going to be 10th, so I can back out. But starting the lap, you see Jake Benham, he comes around the final corner, and he actually backs out as he just invalidated Josh Dewey on the lap. We dart to the right trying to avoid him, and yeah, that fucked us up pretty badly. Excuse my language. And it doesn't look like we're going to get a lap in here, so no matter if we want to set a lap, we're not going to be setting one, as Josh Dewey beats us. We're 9th place right now, quite on the limit. Jake ran out of time as well. Jake messing up his lap there messed us up pretty badly. But nevertheless, we would have got through anyway, as even if Jake did get a lap in and beat us, we'd be 10th. So good, we're into Q3 on the medium tyre, which is good. But skipping to the juicy stuff now, this is a Q3 lap. This one matters where we're going to be starting on the grid. We are in the medium tyre, 4 people on the soft tyre starting the grid. So if we can get our car up there, we have a huge advantage to the cars around us. But starting our lap now, rattling down to turn 1. We've got the tyres in the perfect window, making sure they don't overheat in this last sector. Bringing it after the 100-meter mark down to 3rd gear. We use this car very nicely up to 4th gear, opening the DRS slightly late just to compromise traction on the exit. Now into this next corner, down to 3rd gear. Then just up to 5th, not too quick, but quick enough. Then through this corner, we nearly invalidate, taking a lot of inside curb. That looks like it's going to be a mid-5 first sector, not too bad. Then up to this next left, down to 6, slamming on the throttle on the exit. Here, 4th gear, up to 5th, trying to rotate this rear end with your throttle, then into this chicane. Brake just before the curb starts. Do not hit the big bits in the left, but use the flat bits. Then this left-right sequence, really want to use these curves to rotate your car. 5th gear the whole way through, using this exit curve as much as you can. We're 2/10 up on our previous lap time. We have 14.1 through this right-hander, 6th gear, then through to 7th. 0.625 split. It's not looking great, but we can salvage a bit of it in the last sector. Through this last sector, using all the road and exit. Tires are screaming going through this last sector. 105 degrees most likely coming out of this corner. A bit of a twitch there into the last corner. We can't take too much speed as the rear end will give way due to these hot tires. We open the DRS up to 7th gear, up to the line. It's a 0.918. That puts us provisionally P3 on the grid. And as you can see, we skip to the finish and it's P4 on the grid. 2.5 tenths off Barry Burman, who put in a lightning lap. Not even my PB. It is my PB even. Yeah, what a lap from Barry. If Barry wasn't there, we'd only be half a tenth off pole. So half a tenth off P2, not too bad. I think it was in there. A few little mistakes that you might not have noticed, but yeah, can't complain with P4. I'm sure a lot of people made mistakes, apart from maybe Barry. Well, he might have made mistakes, but I don't think it mattered, considering he got pole by 2 tenths or whatever. So yeah, as you can see on your screen, we're actually doing the medium hard strategy. And I quickly found out, going into this race, I won't spoil it too much, I don't think that's the right strategy. But we'll get to that eventually. We are starting the medium, so we do maybe have some sort of an advantage over the cars around us. Danny Bresney is on the soft, so he's probably going to jump us, and Louis Welch is in the pad, so he's probably going to jump us. So we've got 2 cars behind us that are extremely quick, are going to be extremely quick off the line. So 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 red lights, and away we go. Do we get a good start off the line? It's a bit twitchy on the first getaway, and it's not great. Louis flies by us on his pad, and Danny Bresney on the softs. Can he get a move on us? We're going to try and keep our front wing intact. We've got a car going down the inside. That looks like Joost Noordijk. He's from PS4 going to PC. He doesn't make a move, but it looks like Danny Bresney has got the line over us. We've got the outside line for turn 2, which is the better line going into this corner. You can brake as late as you can, and then try and go round the outside. We're just trying to defend at this point. It looks like Danny Bresney is going to have the position over us. We try and defend, but nothing can be made of it. Is Joost going to make a move onto us going into this next corner? No, he can't. Danny Bresney, he's now going down the inside of Louis. Are they going to make contact? Are we going to get a free position off these 2 cars? It doesn't look like it. Louis brakes extremely early going into this chicane because of Danny Bresney. We nearly lose our wing, so close, and it looks like nothing has been made of it. So we have lost 2 positions off the start. I believe Louis Welch's lights actually went out early, which is a bit of a bug in this game, so hopefully that is fixed next game. As you can see, Joost trying to go for a move. We dart to the right to defend. We do not want to let any more cars by, and now my main priority is getting by Louis. We want a car between me and Joost. I do not want to be just in front of a soft runner. But look, it actually goes in the grass there, going into the final corner, and we take our chances. We go up the inside, and we close the door on the exit and take that position. Now we're blasting the ERS as Louis and Yost are about to fight into turn 1. We defend the inside just to make sure we do not get dive bombed, and we try and keep it here. We're trying to keep Louis behind us, as it's better if there's a medium runner than a soft runner behind us. But sadly, Yost gets in front of us for our race. That is not great at all. Can we defend from Yost going into lap 3? He's 3 tenths back, and we started to manage the gap at this point. As I said, softs aren't great. They don't feel too good, but focusing more ahead of us now. As you can see, the gap to Josh Aduwu, our McLaren Shadow teammate, is 8.5 tenths. 8 tenths now. Is it going to go up anymore? Nearly 9 tenths. It is 9 tenths going into a straight, and this is just showing the pace at the front was so fast. Barry was so quick. It doesn't help we've got a soft runner up there either. And yeah, this pace in the race was very good. Moving on to lap 7, you can see Yost has started to fall back a bit. He's about to drop out of DRS with those dead mediums, or softs even. And yeah, the pace up here was really quick. I'm in 50% ERS, used quite a bit. I heard from my radio, or my engineer Jonas, that Josh was in similar ERS, so we're not lower on ERS compared to most people. I think Jarno will have a lot more ERS than us, maybe Barry too. But as you can see, we're on to lap 9 now. Josh has a penalty. I think he can get that removed though. And through these 2 corners, you can see, I think that is Jarno and Barry have actually broke DRS to us 3, Josh, Danny and me. And this is where I start getting pretty worried, because now Danny is going to be very slow in the softs. He's probably going to lose DRS to Josh, and if he pits, then I've lost DRS to Josh too. So it's not looking great for us. We're going to see what we can do, but yeah, it's not looking great at all. If he loses it, we're done for. And surprise, onto the last sector of lap 10, he pits, and we've actually lost DRS to Josh by quite a bit. That's 6 tenths to Josh Aduwu. We do get DRS in this lap. I don't know if we get it in the next straight, but we do get it in this lap. And yeah, there's not much we could have done. The gap ended up getting up to 2.9. The end of that lap, you saw, we actually did bring the gap down to 2 tenths. Really not 2 tenths, but brought 2 tenths back in Josh. But then he got the DRS, and it was just impossible to stick with them. And at this point, we decide to pit for the hards. We saw Jarno pit, so I just assumed this was the right pit strategy. Again, not doing much practice, not really knowing the strategy didn't help. So we just go into the hards. It's probably the most reliable strategy, the one we know that it's going to work to some extent. I mean, the hards aren't going to puncture at the end, and it's a pretty no-brainer. These will take us to the end pretty easily, and I would hope they would get quicker as the race goes on. But as you can see, Jonny Tormel, Joost Noordijk, Danny Bresney, and maybe another car just ahead of us comes out just ahead of us, and that makes our life a little bit more difficult. So it's going to be interesting. We do get into Jonny Tormel's DRS after him being about 2 seconds-ish up the road. He is in oldish mediums, we're in fresh hard, so it does make sense. As you can see, he is flashing, and Jonny's got to the point, I think, where he's ran out of ERS and he can't regain, so he's just using it every straight. And when we got in his DRS, we were flashing too, and you can see we're in 60% ERS onto lap 22, so we've saved quite a lot behind Jonny. This was the plan, sit behind Jonny. His pace actually wasn't too bad, to be honest, so I thought we may as well sit behind him, save a bit of ERS, then go for the move when we feel like we've got enough. I feel like we could have stayed behind them for one more lap, but on lap 22, we go down the inside at turn 2. Can we make it stick? Is Jonny going to put a fight up? And Jonny doesn't really fight it. He pretty much lets us by, and that's a move up into 9th, I think it was. But moving on to lap 27, we're in P6. Danny Bresney, as you can see, he's miles up the road. Same with Jarno up here. So Danny Bresney probably doing a better strategy than us, which we done medium hard. He's done soft medium. So again, not a lot of practice hurting us there. But going into a straight, as you can see, that is Daniele Haddad on the fresh soft tire. Same with Barry Burman just behind us. And yeah, we do not fight this. As painful it is, I don't know if people saw this in the broadcast, as painful it is seeing me not fight them. If I fight them, I'm only going to lose my self-time. And honestly, even if I try to fight them, if you don't race against them, it's so hard to explain how quick they are. Like, it's near impossible to fight them when they're in fresh softs and I'm in old hards. There's really not much I can do. But yeah, these are the cars that I was in the train with before I pit. after getting broke from DRS. And obviously they've done the right strategy in medium soft. But next up behind us is Jake Benham. He's on not fresh softs at this point. I think he's been in the softs for quite a while now, so his aren't looking too great, but he is still looking a little bit quicker than us. As we're on these old hard, he does get fairly close going into a straight. We use a bit of ERS. As you can see, he must be using all of his ERS down to turn 1. Is he going to send it down the inside? Yes, he does. Is he going to be able to make the move outside of or inside of turn 1? No, he is not. He gets pinched on that apex and cannot get a run on the traction zone, and we've defended from 1 lap from Jake Benham on those fresh soft tires. Can we keep defending from Jake? The glory of being in these hard tires is we're only going to get quicker than Jake going into these last few laps. Going into lap 34, as you can see, the gap is 1 second to Jake Benham, and we've pretty much secured our position in 6th place. It's looking pretty good going on to these last laps. And now we head on to the final lap of the final sector. It's been a pretty good race, considering how unlucky I would say we got with Danny Bresney and not really knowing what to do with the strategy. I think we've maximised the result. As you can see, the gap to Jake Benham, we put 1.3 seconds on that last lap. His softs really dying out, and just that last lap in general, those softs do not hang on too well when they start to overheat. P6 it is not too bad for us. We main an 100% points rate in Psgl, and I think we're still 5th in the championship, even after missing 2 races. So it's been a pretty consistent season for us. I'm pretty happy with how it's went. We are going to miss next week, which is Austria, I believe. We are going to miss that as well. So that's going to be 3 races out of 6. Is it going to be? I think it's 3 races out of 6 we missed. So we've done 50% of the races. As I said, P5 in the stands. I think I don't want to. Don't know what the expression is. I can't remember the expression. I don't want to. The best way I can say it, I don't want to have an ego, but I feel like we could maybe have been in the title fight if we'd done all the races. But I don't think we have the pace for the title fight against Jorno and Barry. Maybe we've just been in the right place, right time sometimes, but we definitely could have been in it by now. We're on 25 points after this race. I think, I don't know what the championship leader is on. Maybe he's in 40. Even if we got 5 points in 10 points in 2 races, that'd be us at 35 points. So we could have definitely been in a better position if we'd done all the races. But yeah, as I said, I think it's been my best season in PSGL, considering all circumstances. But nevertheless, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Feel free to leave a comment. Thank you for the thumbnail for Loveland. If you go on my Twitter, I will post the thumbnail on Twitter as well. If you want to go check him out, I'll make sure to add him in the tweet. So go check him out. Does really good thumbnails. Deserves a lot more recognition. And but yeah, if you've enjoyed the video, please subscribe as well. Put a like if you want. Comment if you want. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.